met him when I was 24. We worked for the same company but in different offices. I was in the Manchester branch, he was down south. We started talking through internal chats about a work project, then it slowly drifted into everything except work. Funny emails, long rants about customers, weekend plans, music. The usual stuff that feels harmless until it suddenly isn't. His name was Adam. We never really had a first flirt moment because it kind of just built itself. One day we were joking, the next we were staying on the phone until 2 a.m., and then one evening he came up to Manchester for work training and asked me to meet him for a drink. That was it. We clicked instantly in person. Same humor, same taste in music, same way of finishing each other's sentences. It felt easy, and at 24 I mistook easy for right. We started seeing each other properly after that. The first thing I now recognize as a red flag didn't feel like one at the time. Adam had money problems. That's how he described it. Apparently, he'd messed up his finances badly a couple of years before, and his mum had taken control of his bank card. He didn't have access to his own money unless he asked her for it. I remember thinking it was strange, but he framed it as temporary. Something like, "She just helps me stay on track, it won't be forever." I didn't question it much beyond that. Then there was his car insurance. When it came up for renewal, he didn't even call the insurer. His mum did it for him. I remember him casually mentioning it like it was normal. Another red flag I ignored, but I liked him. And when you like someone, your brain has a way of filing concerns under quirky instead of important. We'd been together nearly a year when we went to celebrate our anniversary in Brighton. It was meant to be a simple weekend away. Fish and chips on the beach, arcades, drinks, all of that. Nothing fancy. On the second night he proposed. No big speech. Just suddenly on one knee by the water, ring out, asking me to marry him like it was the most natural thing in the world. I said yes immediately. No hesitation. No pause, just pure emotion and adrenaline and love and the belief that this was what life was supposed to feel like. We got married 6 months later. I moved down south and bought a home together shortly after. I put down the deposit from savings I'd built up since I was a teenager. I didn't think twice about it at the time. It felt like ours, even though technically it was mostly mine financially. At first, married life felt like an extension of what we already had. Then after the honeymoon, something shifted. Subtle at first. He became quieter, more distant. Less affectionate in a way I couldn't quite pinpoint. Then bigger changes started creeping in. We had talked about kids before marriage. It wasn't a deep, detailed plan, but we'd both agreed we wanted them eventually. Then one night, completely out of nowhere, he said he didn't want children anymore. His exact words were, "I don't want all my money going on nappies and things for a baby." I remember just sitting there thinking I must have misheard him. Not because of the money part, but because of how cold it sounded. Like children were just a financial inconvenience, not a life decision, but I let it go. Again. Then he changed more. He shaved his head completely. No discussion, no I'm thinking of changing my look, nothing. Just came home one day with a buzz cut like he was a different person trying on a new identity. He stopped telling me where he was going. Out with mates. Just driving. Short answers, no detail, no openness, and then came the ring. One weekend he went away with friends. When he came back, I was doing laundry and found his wedding ring in his jeans pocket, just sitting there. Cold, heavy, meaningless in a way that made my stomach drop. I didn't confront him. I just held it for a moment, trying to make sense of it, trying to convince myself there was an explanation that didn't involve what I knew it probably involved. Then one day, my brother got a picture message from him. I still don't know why Adam sent it to him. It was a photo of a woman with wet hair, wrapped in a towel. Bathroom lighting, hotel vibes. You couldn't see her face clearly, but you didn't need to. It wasn't me. My brother sent it to me straight away. No message, just the image. I remember sitting there staring at it, feeling like my body had gone slightly ahead of my mind, like I was already in motion before I'd decided what to do. And for some reason, I wasn't surprised. I knew something was coming. I think I'd known for a while, just not the shape of it. I packed an overnight bag and left it in the boot of my car. I don't even fully know why I did that. I just knew I didn't want to be stuck scrambling if things went bad. When he got home from work, I confronted him. He didn't deny it. No panic, no scrambling, just acceptance. Then he said it. He loved me, but he wasn't in love with me anymore. Like it was a script he'd rehearsed. I told him my brother didn't just magically receive that photo. He had clearly sent it. I don't even remember his response to that part, because it didn't really matter anymore. Something in me just shut off. I left. I got in my car and drove straight to my mum's, about an hour away. I remember gripping the steering wheel so tightly my hands ached, like if I let go I might actually fall apart mid-drive. When I got there, I told her everything. And once I said it out loud, it became real in a way I couldn't undo. A few days later, I went back because I had to work. Life doesn't pause for emotional disasters, apparently. But I wasn't the same person when I walked back into that flat. I started going out more. My friend and I would go clubbing, stay out until 3 a.m., just trying to feel something other than shock or sadness or anger. I didn't care if Adam was home or not. He tried to act like nothing had happened, then tried being nice, then apologetic, then desperate, saying he made a mistake, saying he still loved me. I didn't want to hear any of it. I asked him when he was moving back to his mum's because the flat needed to be sold. He said he didn't want a divorce. I told him I didn't care what he wanted. That was the beginning of the end of any power he had left in that situation. Eventually, he moved out. Slowly at first, like he was trying to keep a foothold in my life. Coming back occasionally to pick things up, lingering, watching me like he was waiting for me to change my mind. I didn't engage. It had been a year since that picture. Around that time, I met someone else. Carl. Nothing dramatic, no instant romance. Just someone kind and steady who didn't make my nervous system feel like it was constantly bracing for impact. Adam found out in the worst possible way. One night I stayed at Carl's place. When I woke up the next morning, my phone was full of missed calls. 25 of them. Voicemails too, all of them angry, accusatory, obsessive. When I got back to the flat, Adam was waiting. Furious. Not sad, not reflective, just angry that I had moved on in a way he clearly hadn't accounted for. I didn't even argue with him. I just looked at him and felt nothing. Eventually, he stopped showing up as often. He took his things, properly this time. I changed the locks. The flat sold. I moved into a rented place alone. First time I'd ever lived by myself. It was weirdly quiet, but peaceful in a way I didn't know I needed. The divorce dragged on longer than it should have because Adam refused to respond to anything from my solicitor. Letters, emails, nothing. It was like if he ignored it long enough it would undo itself. In the end, I had to contact his mum to get him to sign the paperwork. And eventually he did. When the decree absolute came through, I was happier than I expected to be. Not euphoric, not dramatic, just finally done. 15 years later, Carl and I are still together, and I still think about how easy it is to ignore red flags when they're wrapped in affection, familiarity, and momentum. If I could go back, I wouldn't try to fix anything. I'd just listen to myself sooner.